Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicelocke. Party, you are at the bottom of this hill, or on the lower part of this hill. You've been following this trail. You can hear the sounds of the songless nearby. It's getting dark. They are doing who knows what. You don't speak their language. But here we are. How would you like to proceed? Is it time to run? Is it time to walk up to them and say, "Hello, I am a Toman. I would like you to leave, please"? What are we doing?
How many of them are there?
You don't know. You can just hear the sounds of their voices.
We just hear it, yeah.
There's a few.
The songless are up there right now desecrating our holy sites. We can't just sit here and just walk away. We have to do something. This isn't right.
I agree. We can't let them get away with this. We traveled this far and this long. We have to do something.
Gray will sort of very hushed. I assume we're some distance off in the woods. He sort of keeps his voice low. Recall how dangerous a fight with merely 2 of them was. This settlement could have many, many more. We know that they are here. We know that they're encroaching on the anchor points. That in and of itself is something significant. Something that must surely galvanize our people to action. I think for now, we should perhaps retreat with this knowledge.
You're right. We should gather as many Tomen as we can, return here, and...
But what if they're gone when we return and we never find out what they were doing?
We can see the remains of the camp. They are usually they will usually leave remains, but I don't see why they would be gone in just a few days.
We should get as many men as we can, consecrate this land. We must take it back from them. This is untenable.
I do not know what it is we can do as we are now.
I suppose you both are right. It's just the 3 of us are 3 beasts, and it sounds like they may be many a number. Perhaps we do gather a hunting party, if you will, in return.
And at the very least, Grace says, there is much to discuss on the long travel back, but after what we have learned, I think we have a few courses open to us. But before anything, we should return and appraise everyone else of what has occurred. After all, our people do move relatively slowly.
Right. Gray, you're still weakened, aren't you?
Yes. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from the injury where the DM very kindly kept me alive, as opposed to...
I have no idea how many spell slots I have left. What I used and what I didn't use. I think I might have kept track of it.
Yeah,
wait, I think
on
I'm
your
at 0.
sheet it says 0.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're not in a position to fight or anything right now. We could try to get more info, I guess. But if we run into even one of them, it could be deadly. We don't know how many more there are, how quickly they could call them. They could all be over in a second if we just run into one. We should retreat.
Okay.
Agreed. We play this one smart. As much as it pains me to leave, we play it smart. We come back stronger.
Right.
Okay. The party backs off from the camp, heads down the hill, and heads in the direction of home. It'll be many days to get back home, but that is okay. Let's return to the world map. And let's roll some encounter checks as we make our way back home.
So as we walk back, Gray's gonna sort of like tell the others, I think the sort of as a recollection of where the party was at, he'll say, I think that, well, the time of decision and change as to who we want our people to be, whether we want to just fade and let them encroach until it's too late, whether we want to fight, whether we want to change our ways. I'm of the mind that every Toman should make that decision on their own, but we need to be in a position to be able to make that choice as opposed to have it made for us. Things we could do, perhaps, if we learn more about our history back when we were able to bond with stronger beasts. Perhaps we can do so again. Perhaps we can reclaim that. Perhaps that would give us the opportunity to fend them back. I, for one, wish to defend our land. And if that means, he sort of like looks down at himself and says, "Rest, I have not had a typical Toman life. And I know that there are others," and he sort of looks towards Iskar, who will want to actively, perhaps sacrifice the lives that we have led in order to preserve it for others.
I'm very lucky to have lived the life that I've lived. And my children would be lucky to live it as well. There might be something to this.
Yes, I think this journey we've partaken together, it's bigger than the three of us. I think it's about the future of our people, what we've set in the motion here. I think you're taking us on the right path by doing this, but if we are to discover the secrets of more powerful beasts and what may have been one of our current beasts,
it's not necessarily about us alone. It could be that others can bond into them. Koibu, has there ever been recorded history of Toman bonding with multiple beasts that we know of?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so.
so this would, I guess, in a way be like a us kind of discovering what that potentially could be to empower our society, our people, to bond with stronger beasts, right? Not necessarily like us.
Yeah.
Or perhaps even just strengthen our bond.
Or strengthen our bond, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Like
let's
maybe it's not, I was gonna say maybe it's not about necessarily a stronger beast, but unlocking that strength. Like maybe it's one of those comes from within kind of deals.
realize the experience that you've accumulated so far and rise in level.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on our way back home, we're going to have a couple of small things to note here. Actually, I lied. These are extremely boring results. There is nothing, and then it rains for a couple of days, and it's fine. We will get back to Toman Society days later. Over the mountains, through the valley, and back in the direction of Crocodus, the only city of note anywhere in Toman Society. Closest thing to a city, I should say. It's been 4 days, and you're back. Walking in amongst the fertile fields, the rivers, all the Toman and their oxen out there sort of plowing things or walking around picking up this vegetable, this root, this tuber, this fruit. The Toman sunbathing on rocks in the creeks that are bonded to crocodiles, just kind of hanging out. Every now and then lazily going after one of the very plentiful fish in the area. You can walk amongst the mud brick buildings of Crocodus as people make some small trades, communicate, talk with one another, watch the little tiny children run around. And we've talked about, like, when you bonded with the creature, you sort of lose your broader sense of empathy, but the children of the Toman have this great, wide-reaching empathy. And so you'll often see them playing with caterpillars or crickets or ladybugs or whatever little bit of insect or small animal life they can come across. They have, like you once did, this really strong empathy with each of these creatures. And so you often see the little ones fooling around with insignificant monsters, insignificant animals that they seem to be enthralled in. But now that you're back in Crocodopolis, how would you like to rally all of your people?
I think the first step would be talking to your father and considering how that might be done, as your father is a very prominent figure. Furthermore, the sun and moon naturally as well. That is perhaps the first step.
Yes,
I agree.
I agree. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's gonna be a difficult conversation, but I'm sure he'll understand.
Great.
We need someone with his influence. I agree.
We can spend another couple days going down the valley towards the area where you and your father live, Pichal. And you will find him hanging out, giving like a little conversation to some of the youth in the area about what it means to pick an animal, pick a beast with which to bond, and how that's such a more fulfilling, more significant relationship than befriending every mouse in the cornfield. The kids often don't listen to these sorts of things. No children ever do. But your father gives the lecture anyway. It's part of the coming of age, is changing perspectives and encouraging people to find the sort of creature that really matches their personality and roll with it. It's a lot like dating. You date broadly in your youth, and then as you get older, you narrow the focus and pick one. And that's sort of the example your father's working with. Then you can give it some time until the lecture is over. When your father comes on over, looks to you and your two friends, and I think by now you're probably all at full HP, and says, son, you're back. Did you get the wisdom you sought?
I think I did, Father.
Good. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Father, we have to do something. What I learned when I was out there, things aren't right. We went to one of the anchor points. We need to know for sure. The old man, he wasn't of much use, but he said some things that made me wonder. And I think now I know that the songless are just going to keep encroaching on our space more and more, and we need to do something. We need to act. We can't keep hiding. Don't you agree? The anchor points, it's desecrated. It's full of songless. What they've taken it over.
Which anchor point?
I'll explain to him which one.
That one, it's been like that for a long time now. It's nothing new. Our people have remained safe for countless generations. Don't be rash. Don't be a snake. Remain an elk. Guide your people safely from the confines of our home.
How can we stay safe when the songless take more and more and more of our land every single day?
They don't take more and more of our land. You're just brash and haven't lived long enough to realize that these things all even out. They're young creatures. They live and die so fast. I wouldn't worry about them too much. Just make sure you stay within the barrier, and all will be well, as it has been for thousands of years.
How much longer is it going to stay that way? Father, is it true that the Toman once were much more powerful than they are now? Isn't that true?
The past is different than the present, yes. But what you're missing is we are much more peaceful, much happier now than we were in the days of very old, when we went to war and fought and died en masse, and our people were scattered and shattered. Why do you think we're the last of our kind? The rest of them were fools. The rest of them thought that war and combat and conquest was the way to go. We are all that remains because we have chosen the path of peace.
Path of peace.
You've been hanging out with that snake too much, he says, ignoring the fact that you're standing right next to him.
Father, I know we talked about me staying strong to my ideals and to the things that you've taught me, but the past days, I couldn't help but waver every single time I would see what the situation was like. The songs, they're everywhere. What kind of existence is this, where we just hide and hope for the best without ever doing anything, where we just slowly wither away?
Son, this is paradise. What more could you want? Do you really want to walk across the vast open plains that lie beyond our woods? Do you want to get to the poisoned waters that you cannot drink? But what is it that you desire? We're not trapped, we're home. Or would you fell trees, sit upon rafts, let the waves take you wherever they may, find a new beginning some far distant land? Because that's not how it'll go. You will drift upon the sea until you are burnt to a crisp by the sun, die of dehydration, no food, not to mention your elk
nobody's
can't
talking
make it to
about
the
drifting.
seas.
Nobody's talking about drifting out on the sea. I'm talking about taking back what's ours.
Well, we only grow through experience, and you must have the experiences that teach you the same things my youth taught me. So go. Do your things. Try not to endanger any of your people.
Our people are constantly in danger. Father, let us take some people up to the anchor point. We can't do it alone. If we go up there, we'll certainly die. We have to see what the Songos are doing there, what the Songos are doing to our holy land. Do you just want to let them do whatever they want to the holy sites that Illumis gifted to us? Is that what you do with a gift from someone you love as much as Illumis?
You will do what you will do. I cannot stand in your way, but I will not aid you.
I look over to Gray.
Gray shrugs. It is what it is. So he will say, your father has his reasons. He's made his choice. He chews at his lip. He's made his choice, but there are others who might make a different one.
Iskar kind of butts in, clearly, pretty angry at this point. This peace you speak of, this is no peace. This is a false peace. This is a false reality, and you know it. This can't last forever. We heard them at the anchor point. They sounded many in number, and if this peace you speak of, if you want this to last, we have to act.
We don't know.
I don't know.
You're jumping at shadows?
Enough that we are too afraid to. Gray sort of steps. Enough that we were afraid to approach. They had a camp. Smoke was rising. When you yourself said they breed quickly. If they have a settlement, there are many of them there.
They are many.
Have we ever Koibu, out of character, is there any? We are familiar with spellcasting. Do we know if the songless can use magic?
They can. They don't have it as innately or commonly as you. Your people essentially live and breathe forms of magic. You're growing in a magic valley. You've got infravision. You bond with beasts. You've got plenty of clerics in your midst. The songless, you don't really know, but it would be weird if they couldn't.
Is it perhaps possible that they might find a way through the barrier? Could that be what they're trying to do? We do know they tried to capture one of us. That was what was their name? Blue something?
Yes. Barra Blue?
Yeah. We do know that they were trying to capture a Toman. Perhaps they're trying to...
That is a concern.
Yeah, perhaps they wanted to capture one of us to plunder the secrets of our magic and use those secrets to infiltrate the barrier.
So do something about it. If you are convinced that this is the right course of action, go. Make a difference in the world. But I see that's not what you want. I see you are afraid and you want other people to put their lives online for your fears.
No, we are not afraid to put our lives on the line, but we have made our choice and we are going to act. But we believe that every Toman should have that choice and they should have that with the information. We came here because we need to relay that message. And there are those who do not wish to act, and I can respect that, but there are those who wish they do. So perhaps if you will not directly aid us, at the very least you can perhaps point us to those who can help spread this word. So
why don't you
everyone can
walk
make the
amongst
choice.
our people and convert them yourselves? Why do you come to me? I am just one man. I am opposed to your course of action. Why should I put my reputation, my leadership, front forward to aid your endeavors, which I disagree with strongly? Would you like me to lie to our friends and family?
No, I would like to tell you, I would like to know someone who will put their reputation on the line, that we can go to ask for aid instead.
Put your reputation on the line. I grow tired of this childish nonsense. I have more important things to do than indulge your silly, unfulfilled fantasies. The three of you, go. Do something useful for society. Join society. Feed your friends. Feed your family. Make something of use. Don't just live out in the woods, terrified of the unknown. He looks to White of Alabaster. I hate to say this, but you have disappointed me today. Go now.
Alabaster is silent during all of this. He's conflicted, not because he really believes what his father is saying, but because he kind of doesn't. And that's really confusing to him. He looks him in the eye, starts saying something, but then stops himself and just leaves.
He returns to his own elk, an older elk at this point in time, and just puts a hand on the neck, sort of that mindless stroking or petting that you do when you're, very close with something. That sort of reassuring contact. Well, party. This doesn't seem like it was the the ends that you had hoped for. As you walk away from this older Toman, out in this little village on the southern end of the valley, you find you have no allies at this point in time. Lots of people who are telling you what you should do with your life and how you should go about doing your life. And I think it's probably time to level up, because we spent 4 or 5 days in the valley. It's going to take you a few days to get out from here in any direction. So let's do it. Congratulations, everybody, on hitting level 2. Where is our leveling up music? Here we go. So we're going to walk down the line. We're going to see what everyone gets on this level. Starting with whoever's on the top of my Grave Morning Mist. Welcome to 2nd level, buddy. You are a rogue. I do believe you roll a d8 plus your con bonus for HP. Would you like to roll it?
No, I wouldn't. I'm here sitting. I'm here looking at this d8 minus 2 HP that I'm getting.
I've never even thought about that. You can just refuse to roll. What could the DM do? You can never roll bad HP if you just refuse.
Yeah, we don't take the average here. We roll. It's
Wow.
God, rolling a minus con modifier is just depressing on this. All right, moment of truth.
Oh, baby!
Let's go.
8
I just
minus
doubled my
2 is
HP.
6. That's amazing. Congratulations, Grave Morning Mist.
Holy
It
fuck.
feels so good. It feels so good. In a normal game, I would have like 20 HP right now. Yeah, this is
At 2nd level as a rogue, you gain Cunning Action.
yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Right, for those of you that aren't familiar, this means you can take dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action on each of your turns. Quick reminder, only 1 dash action per round, so no double dashing. Otherwise, rogues are just sprinters, and that bothers me for some reason. Okay. Excellent. Next up in the order is Iskar Green, a monk.
Right.
And I also believe monks roll d8s, but I'm going to double check that. Yes, d8 plus your con mod of 0, Iskar Green.
So just D8 then, yeah. I don't have to type light, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's another 8. Oh my god. 16 HP for our monk. At
Huge.
2nd level, your movement goes up by 10, which means your snake's movement goes up by 5. And let me update Hethys, who now has 35 movement speed, which is very fast for a snake. And for most Toman even. You also get key points and unarmored movement. Unarmored movement is when your speed goes up by 10, as long as you're not wielding a shield or armor. All right, there we go. And you get your key points. Now, this is an expendable resource. You will get 2 key points to start. It's all in the player's handbook. I can give you a little handout at some point. You can spend one of these key points to do Flurry of Blows. After you take the attack action, you can spend a key point to make 2 additional unarmed strikes as a bonus action. Or you can use one of your key points to take the dodge action as a bonus action on your turn. Or you can spend a key point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is doubled. So one gives you movement, one gives you defense, one gives you offense. And later you will have abilities that have saving throws that your opponents have to make. And we'll talk about that when you get there. But for now, 2 key points.
With those key points, are those like a replenishing resource that I could use every so often, or how does this work exactly?
Starting at 2nd level, your training allows you to harness the mystic energy of ki. Your access to this energy is represented by the number of key points you have. The higher in level, the more key points you get. Blah, blah, blah. When you spend a key point, it is unavailable until you finish a short or long rest. That's a full night of rest or longer. at the end of which you gain all of your ki back to yourself. Yeah. So every day that you get like proper rest, you get all your ki points back.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Okay. And last but not least, we have White of Alabaster, the cleric,
That's me.
who is also rolling a D8 -1 for HP, buddy. That's a 3 -1 is a 2. Well, not everybody can be rolling max HP here. So
It's
sorry.
okay. My elk's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, at second level, you gain an additional first level spell slot. You get a 1 channel divinity per rest, and you get a divine domain feature. Now, what was you're a light cleric.
I'm a light cleric.
So at second level, you can use your channel divinity to harness sunlight, banishing darkness and dealing radiant damage to your foes. As an action, you present your holy symbol, and any magical darkness within 30 feet of you is dispelled. Additionally, each hostile creature within 30 feet of you must make a con save. A creature takes 2d10 plus your cleric level damage on a failed save and half as much on a success. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And you also get the standard turn on dead channel divinity as well. Great. I'm going to update your cleric level to 2. Did you... Yes.
Tell me
it
one more
looks-
time what the first thing was I got. I got the channel divinity and what?
It's just...
Oh, another level 1 slot?
Oh, yeah. Level 1 spell slot. So when you go to your spell section, it'll say 3 total spell slots instead of... Oh, and you can also
Perfect.
memorize an additional spell. Prepare additional spell, I should say.
Ooh, I should
Now-
probably decide which one that should be standard.
This was just for our players. Our creatures are also going to level as well. So let's start with Mithra. You gain an additional 1d4 -1 hit points, Mithra.
It's also depressing that I start at 1 HP, that Mithra starts at 1 HP despite having a D4.
Yeah. But now Mithra has 3 total HP. Excellent. 2d. Ooh. Excellent. And that's it for Mithra. No other abilities. Moving on to Hethys. You will roll a d4 for HP, Hethys. Another 2, bringing Hethys to 4 total. Excellent. And last but not least is Damhir, who will roll...
Jeffrey is his name, actually.
Jeffrey, who's going to roll a d10 +1.
Watch this.
4 more, bringing Jeffrey to 17. Excellent. All right, let me just make sure these are all updated on our creatures. They
How much
absolutely
HP does that elk have total?
17.
Thank you, boy.
All right, and Hethys is at 4. And Mithra was at 3, right?
Yep.
Perfect. All the tokens are updated. Our characters are updated too. Although for some reason they're not showing for me. That's fine. That is fine. Oh. Perfect. Our next level up, I believe, is at 600 XP.
I think it's 300, 900, actually.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's 3-9. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
It's a good thing talking to his father gave us 500 and...
Right.
If only, Chauncey. If only. Great, party. You've understood the threats against you. You've seen the reluctance of your people to do anything about it. But you also know in the past, you have had to trim the claws. You've had to mow the lawn. In the past, there have been individuals who acted without guidance of the rest of their people. Leonis. And, yeah, what are you going to do?
I think we have to gather people on our own.
Gray thinks for a while, sort of like, so we've been there for a bit. Probably through this time, he's walking through, looking at all the Tomen. I think perhaps we are going to have to go and find out what they're doing at that anchor point.
I agree. But we shouldn't go alone, right?
Gray thinks for a moment, and when this is me sort of like meta, sort of like in the meta, being like, I don't want to be the players just like sort of going around. Oh, let's get the NPCs to go do this for us.
Yeah.
But also like logistic. In his head, he's thinking, if we're going to convince people to come with us, we need to present evidence that there's a threat. We need to absolutely have more to go on. We need to, if we can, for example, go there, find out evidence that they're trying to tamper with the lines or at least understand them. That'll make our case more palpable. And also, amongst those who are more active, we do need to show some manner of one. As much as I disagree with what your father said, and I believe partly his position towards us was unfair, he is right in that we are relatively inexperienced. Our word carries little weight. We need to make it carry more weight. I think we should do this on our own.
I just want to prove to him that this is a righteous mission, that this is what we should do.
The best way to do that is by doing it.
How do you
agree.
propose we gather evidence without potentially getting caught if we are to go back and get something?
Observation for one, drawing them out as another. We know that they are day creatures mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drawing them out for one, even if we can, if we are able to scare them, intimidate them, perhaps they will leave. But first, we need to. He sort of considers for a moment and says, "I do wish that we had at least scouted more while we are there. It appears we let the fear get the better of us, but we need to at least understand the camp more, understand how many of them there are. We will try and avoid conflict, and if we do, we can retreat into the woods. But we can draw them out."
We'll do it carefully. We'll do it right.
Thinking about, so question here, the kind of general path back to where we came from, right? When we found out that the Songless were there. So the old man with the Displacer Beast, which I suppose wasn't bonded, right? Where was he relative in the grand scheme of that? Like, is that completely out of the way?
He was up here on this mountain. I'm near the mouth of this volcano. The anchor point was way up here. I wasn't sure if you were referring to that or the Toman that you rescued.
Yeah, no, you got
down.
it. Yeah, the northern anchor point was what I was thinking of. Yeah, because I thought it was kind of on the way.
It's kind of on the way. It is like a day or two out of the way, but it's in the same general direction.
There is also, so we were actually told to go to that anchor point by the old man, right? He's the one that hinted at us to check it out.
It was the other old man in the cave, the grumpy old man. Yeah.
I want to seek. We should seek him out. He clearly knew that they were there. Why wouldn't he tell anyone earlier? I would seek him out again, at the very least.
There has to be a reason he told us to go. He knows something he wasn't letting on. Maybe now that we've proven we're willing, maybe he'll tell us more.
Okay.
Gray nods.
to the old man, the
know.
cranky old man. The party can head in that direction. You'll find him the next day. Yeah, you'll find him sitting on... how do we say this? Last time you visited this man, there was like a little tiny shrine-like pagoda out front of his cave, and there was a little clearing around it. And in that little pagoda-like thing, there was a snake. And this time when you come back, instead of being in his cave, he is seated with his back to the pagoda, the snake kind of coming out of one section of it, drooping around his neck, going back in, and then like the last bit of the snake coming and like resting over his shoulder. So he's sort of almost like safety harnessed in if the snake were to tighten. And he's just lounging, resting in like a nice little sunbeam with his eyes closed. As you,
Does he still have the weapon I threw at his feet?
if he has it, he's not holding it in his hands presently. Yep, you can approach him as he's resting.
We probably watch him for a while, and Gray chooses to step forward this time, and then he likes to normally stay in the background. I say, did you know that the Songless had a settlement at that anchor point?
He lifts one eye. You went there.
Gray nods. We also spoke with the former Sun and Moon.
Oh. And you're alive. Very good. So you must know the true threats we face.
Gray nods.
Better luck to you. I could never get anyone to help me. But maybe you three can do it.
Did you always act alone? He sort of considers for a moment. It's been a while. He made reference. He's like around the age of Leolis's time, but it was like it's vague in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll just ask, "Did you always act alone?"
Not always, but almost always.
Is there any advice you would give us on engaging the Songless? You have a wealth of experience. We are new to it. Is there any way to approach a settlement of theirs that you would advise?
They are blinded creatures. They cannot see the weave of life as we can. In the darkness, they are not neutered, but they are easy to sneak up on. We can see their life emanations from 20 yards. They won't see us until we step into the light. They are a fearful bunch, scared of the things that go bump in the night. Cowards, but with numbers.
Gray nods, concerning. He's already formed me ideas.
And, don't be lured in by their traps.
You said in the past, no one was willing to help you until we approached you. Who have you approached before us?
I did not approach you. You came to me. You sought me out.
And in the past, was it you who did the seeking when you needed help with this threat?
Friends of my era were not like the people today. It was a different time. And we were young and hot-blooded. We were alike in our thinking. But the others, the valley dwellers, the crocodiles, the cowards, they enjoyed their life too much. they did not feel the same pain and urgency. And by the blood of my brothers, we have kept them safe. They're herd animals, you know, he says, and kind of looks over to Alabaster with like a tilt of the head as if to say like, well, you're a herd animal too, but like, I get that you're different. The herd animals, they're always afraid. They're always cowardly.
What can we even do?
We can go, we can find out what's happening, we can eliminate some of them, we can scare them off, and then we can use that victory to inspire others to join our cause. We can potentially both find proof of the threat and establish ourselves as people to work with, because there will surely be other Tomen, and Gray's like starting to be more animated than he usually is, sort of like moving his hands around, because he's normally like trying to be like pretty neutral and held back, but he is saying that like this indecision that we have, it's stagnant, and in order to break that stagnancy there needs to be a spark, and we can be that. We can do something, but we will, as has been said, we'll have to do something. I think we should go there. We'll learn what we can. We'll scare them off if we can, if they are indeed superstitious creatures. We can sneak in the night, lure them away, perhaps use sounds, perhaps even lure other beasts here. But we have to win some victory over them, solidify the threat, and then we can rally others.
Yes, I believe we have the help we were looking for, and that is this information. And in the dead of night, Mithra and Hethys, I believe, are perfectly equipped to carry this out and use to our advantage what we now know about the Songless and what scares them in the night. Shall we take off and head back? See if they're still there.
That seems like the only course of action. I still don't feel confident, but we're running out of options now, aren't we?
We're running out of options and running out of time.
Do you still have that blade I left here?
He nods, both his eyes fully open.
May I take it back?
He points to the cave and says, you'll find it near the entrance on a shelf carved from stone.
Excellent. I go and retrieve my +3 short sword.
You can find the weapon. It's right where he said it was, next to a wooden cup and another stone dagger. All right, party. Time to head back.
Yep, we're gonna have to do something. So we are, as I'm trying to think. There was a time in history where the Tomen had left a. What was it they left to scare off the Songless? This is in the notes somewhere. Let me find it.
Yeah, there's this town to the south section of this map over here. Way down over here. And when this town was established a little while ago, a couple hundred years ago, I think, it was really, it was the first town that's been established on this side of everything. And the Tomen at the time just came and like made a little, square of wooden stakes in the middle of the night. And so that the Songless kind of woke up to a field of pointy spikes in their direction. And that was the previous generation's way of being like, hey, you're in the wrong place. Like just letting you know there's danger here. And that seemed to be fine. You hadn't really have any problems with the Songless until that elk was captured and that, person was threatened.
So it's just like a square of stakes?
Yeah, I say square just to like define an area, but it was a large field, maybe 1,000 little wooden stakes plowed into the ground at a 45-degree angle pointed towards their little village out in front of it. near one of their
Gotcha.
pastures.
Okay. I was just wondering if there was like because I was wondering, was there like did we make like a little voodoo doll thing to like Scarecrow to show them? But if it's fake, we can work with that. Gray is thinking, as we're sort of before we leave to see if like there's anything we would need to get, you know. My idea is perhaps we go there, we watch, we see if we can sneak in during the night, and if it comes to it, if we can find one of the songless alone, ambush them, slay them, and then leave them as a warning, we can see what happens after that.
I like it. Even better yet, if it's possible that the songless that we're going to capture and slay, if they have something that we could bring back with us as physical proof. And there's no like interrogating or anything like that, right? We can't communicate with them on that level, right?
You have no way of speaking their language at this point in time that I know of. Maybe someone's got a spell or a creative method or can find a way to bend the rules in some way, shape, or form, which I'm happy to do. But yeah, you don't speak their language, and you don't have any reason to think that they would speak yours.
Right.
Is there any
Just
prep
grind
that
to level 5 so Alabaster can tongues them.
do clerics get tongues?
Yeah, surely. There's no way they don't.
They do.
Can you cast
yes.
command on things that don't speak your language?
The spell
I don't
has
think
no
so.
effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command
Gotcha.
is directly
Okay.
harmful.
Yep.
Well, I think we have what we need.
Okay.
Looking towards the others. Questioningly, is there any questions, any history? Because he seems antsy now. Before he was sort of like lingering, waiting, but now he like wants to make things happen.
All right. Well then, party, it's time to set off once again, I suppose.
It's that kind of time.
We've got a
But this
bit of
time
a-
stronger.
Yeah, got a bit of a heist on our hands, if you will.
A little bit of a heist.
Okay, it's going to take you... now remind me again how we're traveling. Are we putting all the Tomen on the elk for maximum movement speed? Are we moving as quickly as possible, which is more danger? Are we moving slowly to avoid danger?
We tend to move slowly. The sort of like default formation we discussed was having the elk be sort of like our center point, you know. If we're making like sort of like a flank, we have Gray sort of like Mithras obviously like scouting out ahead, and we've talked about that, how like occasionally they'll be like, oh, something interests me, Hawk, and then like Gray will go
Right.
check it out, etc.
Right,
And then
right.
we have the elk as like our center point on the back, where I think Iskar had like the snake on the side, but we're not on the elk. We just like, but we have like our calls where if we find something, we center at the elk. It's like our anchor point of our formation.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Just checking everyone's movement speed here to remember. 35, and I think you are 25. 20. All right. So it's about 80 miles plus some elevation up and down. So it's going to be about 100 miles. It'll be about 5 days to get back here if everything goes well and there's no encounters along the way. Let's just roll some things on our encounter table. Right. So walking through the valley is not a problem. Going up and over the mountains, however, we're taking the same route as we did before. And as we're crossing through this little section of mountains right here, if you can see where the mouse is, Mithra will give the call of like, I see something important or something dangerous. And then kind of swoop right back down towards you and land on your shoulder.
How alarmed does Mithra seem?
Not panicked.
Okay.
Just fairly calm, actually. But like, I saw danger.
Are we in the mountainous region yet?
Yes, you are in this valley in between mountains.
All right, we'll make the call to go back to our elk. I think in the mountains we're particularly careful because we know of the OZs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think before even like going to, if there's a chance that we can circumvent Genta without even like identifying what it is, we'll probably attempt to do that.
Okay.
Because like if we, let's say we go and potentially run into like try to if we can see something, it can see us, like theoretically, right? So it's like rather than confirming that it's dangerous, why not just be safe and circumvent it?
Got it. Well, Mithra you can communicate with Mithra as well as you could with a well-trained dog. So it's an easy thing to get Mithra to like fly over the danger so you can see what direction it is and then just go the other way. And that's not going to be a problem. Why don't you, Grave Morning Mist, make me a perception check as the party circumvents the danger. See if maybe you can get eyes on it. 18 will do. What you see are a group of... Do I have a token for them already? What you see are a group of... Oh, I do, right here. Giant ants. And when I say giant ants, I mean like at least 6 feet long for the small ones. Some of them get much, much larger. And there seems to be 3 of these creatures coming down a mountain and grabbing small shrubs in their pincers, ripping them out of the ground, and then like climbing back up the hill again. In their wake, you can see a small section of devastation where they've just been like consuming all the vegetation in their path as they come down this hill. They don't seem to be intelligent, and it's fairly easy to avoid them.
Are we familiar with onkegs? Like, do we know if these are ants or onkegs?
You can tell that these are ants. You are not familiar with Ankh eggs. They are not native to this land, and it's a small island, so you would probably have run into them if they were native here.
Okay. Yeah. Ants are still dangerous, though. Don't. Mm-hmm. There's a reason they're the most successful species in the world.
That's true. Second most, okay? Chill.
Yeah.
Put some respect on our name, okay?
Do you really think we, in terms of... Okay, never mind.
Did ants go to the moon? I think not. Well, they might have, but only because they hitched a ride,
Listen, if it was on site, if the aliens came down, they were like, one of you two is going to have to survive so we can crown one of you the king of the earth, I know which one's surviving. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'd lose that one.
True.
The next day, we are walking through the forest along this lower path, less in the... Oh, wait, I'm using the wrong dice if we're not in the forest. If we're not in the mountains. Here we go. Let's try this die roll again. No. Easy day, no journey. Third day. No. 3 days through the wilderness. Back. Well, it's 5 days from down here, but 3 days from going through the mountains to get back to that peak. Now, you will be arriving in the mid-afternoon towards the base of the hill, finding that same trail with those old bent branches that let you know that this is the path to go. But it's early afternoon. The sun's out. It's warm. There's birds chirping.
I think we should, so Gray will say, naturally we do not wish to encounter them during the day. We should find a suitable safe location or a camp, a cave somewhere, or well, probably not a cave in the mountains. You don't want to. We don't want to fight for dominance in a cave in the mountains. We're gonna lose. But we should find some place to rest or retreat to some defensible position. We do not want to proceed too much further during the day.
All right. We can wait for nightfall, and then you can begin your climb back up. Back to the top of the hill. Back to where the anchor point is. Back towards the camp. Well, why don't we take a short break, and when we come back on the other side, we will return to the camp.
Wonderful.
All right, guys. You're back at the base of the mountain hill. You've waited until dark. Dark has arrived. You've got very limited vision. It's like a half moon out, almost. You're like 2 days away from the half moon. So there's just a little bit of moonlight guiding your way. You've got the elk, snake, and the hawk with you.
But we all have like dark vision or whatever, right?
You have infravision, which in this campaign, we're separating from dark vision. Dark vision is you can just see well in the dark. I'm giving you a little bit of vision right now because there's a moon out, and so you're going to be able to see a little bit. Your infravision is the glow given off by all living things. So you can sort of see if it's really dim out, and if it's just plants, you can kind of make out individual plants. But if there's creatures around within 60 feet, you can make out the outline of a creature up to 60 feet away from you. Seem exceedingly well.
Got it.
Obviously, if it's like half behind a tree, you wouldn't see the part of it that's behind the tree, but yeah. So here we are. Bottom of this hill. You can see up this way, up towards the top of this hill, there's a little bit of light illuminating the treetops over there. There must be some artificial light source.
I think this is it.
Where did you say that light source was?
Up the hill from you, due north.
Okay.
Somewhere up here.
And this is like a pretty high wall.
Yeah, right here, this one directly in front of you is maybe like 6 feet tall, and then the one beyond that, it climbs up easily like 15 or 20. Now, you're capable creatures. Given time, you could climb all of these things, or you could take the walking path that is indicated by the various branches, which does head off to your left.
Is it like a cut? So we're not on the like cut path that we know the songless make their little trails, right? Like
correct.
Okay, yeah, because we want to obviously avoid that at all costs.
Yeah.
Gray sort of like he'll say that I think we should somewhat remain close to the elk, keep it out of sight, keep the elk against the wall here, but we should, rather than climbing, probably ease this way along the woods. We have our retreat path here, and we move slowly and carefully.
Okay. Sounds like...
And
go ahead.
We'll have like Mithra going from like branch to branch, just like very quietly doing their thing. And if they notice something coming back to me, not like squawking, but like coming back, giving me the look, you know what I mean?
Returning to you if there's something amiss. Yeah. All right. Well, Mithra will head out and start moving, around from branch to branch as the party skirts along. Is Hethys coming with you, or is Hethys staying behind?
I think Hethys comes with. I kind of want to use Hethys for a similar purpose to Mithra. Mithra's kind of scouting by air. I feel like Hethys is suited for scouting by ground.
Okay. And Jeffrey?
Jeffrey is just, trying his best to be sneaky as best as you can be as an elk.
They do move rather quietly at night.
That's true. Yeah. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have made it evolutionarily.
Okay. The party can begin to skirt along this section of wall over here, this section of cliff, moving slowly but surely, sort of in this direction, until you get to a point where the cliff begins to fade and fall away. There's more hilltop, but you're entering a slightly more open area where it looks like there's a path one way and a path another way, both of which lead round this large hill.
Really quick, for formation purposes,
Mhm.
I'd like it if Jeffrey was actually quite a bit behind us.
Well, your tokens are facing them wrong. You're headed up.
Oh,
You started
yeah,
at the
okay, then
bottom.
he was in a pretty good position
Yeah.
for, combat purposes.
Of course. All right. Our characters will
kinda
continue
like
to
a-
move upward.
Like a slingshot, and I always want to keep him drawn, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You getting to this point. Oh no, where did Hethys go? Oh, you're right there. Cool. Getting to this point, you can really begin to see the light given off by all sorts of things. From this spot, if you scroll upward a little bit, you can see there's an entire camp. You're now high enough to look down onto that camp, and there is something ringed or surrounded by lanterns up on the top of this hill where I'm moving a marker towards. And obviously up in this direction, you can see a couple of camps and some songless there. And yeah.
That is a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're up and about.
Yeah, it's just on towards evening, so they're not like throwing a party. It looks like some of them are moving around, making camp, setting things up. Some of them are probably going to bed. It's that later in the day rituals.
And there's something up here that sort of, we see a ring of light, and that's a high point. Gray's gonna logically think they have like a,
1 second.
that's probably like a watchtower or something.
Mm.
Well, not, aren't familiar with them like watchtowers, you know what I mean? But if Gray was like defending this camp, he would be like up here, right? So he's probably assumes that one is there. So we probably sort of stay out of sight of that, like probably like close to the wall, right? So we can't like, as we're approaching it, we're staying close to walls and whatnot. So there, and Gray will see.
Okay.
It appears as if they are not retired for the evening yet. We should just watch from here for now.
Ah.
These guys aren't like 10 to 15 feet tall, right? Just
No.
okay. Just I was like doing random measurements. I'm like, wait a second.
Well, they're big. They're much bigger than
Yeah.
you are. You're just little tiny Tomans. Yeah. All right. We've moved against the wall. There is this cliff rises above you, maybe 20 feet tall, trees above it, everything being illuminated by some sort of lights up there. Mithra's bouncing around. You can see the camp down below. Various songless creatures going about their evening activities and rituals.
Gray sort of said, I think we should simply quietly observe for a time. They haven't rested, so they're not resting yet, so this is a good opportunity to learn what they do.
Disgusting creatures. I don't know how long I can take their smell for, but it's the best we can do right now.
Yes, we wait until there's an opening and we see someone on their own, a straggler that we can maybe lure on their own into the darkness.
We should
As
wait till
nightfall
they all
approaches.
sleep.
Yeah. As you wait over the next, half hour or so, a whole bunch of these creatures head into these little makeshift shelters and lay down to go to sleep. Soon, not too terribly long from now, there's only a few. I think at this point you can only see 2 songless. That doesn't mean there's not more, but you can only see from your vantage point the 2 way... Oh, let me show you. Way up here. They look like some sort of sentries posted to keep watch.
Okay. How high up is this cliff right here?
20-ish feet.
Is this around here we've had some time. Does this look like a path that like winds upwards slightly?
If you head over here, you'll see it just sort of dead ends.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of just get to the edge.
I think Gray wants to get a peek onto this thing. I think what Gray's gonna do is he's gonna put his fingers to, and he wants to circle this. He wants to stay out of the light, obviously, and like low to the ground here very slowly. But he wants to try and circle this to see if there's any way that the songless get up there themselves.
Sure. The group can kind of come along, and sure enough, you will find I somehow did not add the token for it, or it must have gotten stacked in the layers somewhere. But there is a wooden ladder that leans against the wall right here, allowing access up and down.
Okay. So not speaking, obviously, or making sounds. So we probably sort of like point. Once we notice the ladder, we'll point to go back to our little spot.
Okay. Back to the little spot.
What do you believe we should do? I think there is perhaps one of them up there keeping watch.
I don't know. I feel like we should just keep observing. I think that's mainly what we're here to do anyway, right? We just need to learn what's... Alabaster's kind of, after being very motivated to come here and to consecrate this land, is now at the sight of these beasts incredibly frightened. I just don't know if this is such a good idea anymore. Maybe we should just... maybe we should just keep observing. Iskar, what do you think?
We can't observe forever. We know what we're here for. We need evidence. We need some kind of answer to bring back with us to show the true threat to our people so they can understand just how bad this is. So everyone is asleep and everyone is in their shelters and there are 2 sentries that we know of. I think we move in closer to get a better view.
All right.
So it looks like right here, like that little area there, we'd still have the elevation, right? And it looks like there's some tree cover there as well. So it's like maybe a closer. Is everyone seeing that ping?
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Yep.
it.
Yeah. So it looks like we could move in there, and there's some tree cover, and we'd still have high ground to get a little closer, observe a little better, maybe.
Out of curiosity, the rings of light from the lantern that are up here, how far? Like we're not like in the light of that, right? Like that's.
You're pushed against the base of the cliff, so no, it's not like a spotlight shining down. It shines out, and you're in the shadow provided by the hillside.
Okay.
Unless someone were to like come and look straight down the cliff at you with the lantern.
Gotcha. Because I'm trying to figure out like what the range of the light which this is casting is. Sort of like if let's say someone's hypothetically like at the top. I'm trying to gauge where like we would just be like in the open, and it looks like unless it's obviously like is light like shining on these trees? Like can we see these trees illuminated? That's actually a good way to ask.
You can see their tree tops illuminated, but their trunks are in shadow.
Okay, so we're like effectively in the darkness still. Gotcha. 'Cause the like overlapping light of our own, with the lantern, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we should be able to traverse that. So Gray will nod and say, and we might even be able to get a look at the person that's up there if we get a good angle.
Okay. We're taking the elk still as we venture into this darker area.
The elk can cover a lot of distance pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it's okay if he...
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is how far. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I think it's fine for him to stay quite a bit behind here.
Right. The party moves forward, sneaking into the darkness. The elk
I'll
will-
just move the elk along to where I think he should be.
Perfect.
Let's see.
You see the camp before you. One side to your right, a much larger section to your left. You can see many tents, the denizens of which are all nice and sleepy. Still, those same two guards haven't really moved from their positions other than shifting their weights and whatever low conversations they're having. If the songless even speak, a comprehensible or intelligent language.
Can we see anything near the top of this cliff looking back with a proper angle?
Yeah, you can see just a little bit. There appears to be some sort of posts driven into the ground with lanterns dangling from them, like up on top. But really, your vision's mostly obscured by the trees, not just the trees down here around you, but also the trees up on that cliff top as well. You're probably not going to get a very good view of what's up there until you climb it. Here you are, the songless all around you, asleep, unaware of your presence.
Did you say something, Picho?
This is getting pretty dangerous, guys. We're so close now. But at the same time, I feel the energy of the holy site. I feel what Illumis. I feel how Illumis must have blessed this place. It feels wrong for them all to be here. We have to do something.
Perhaps we simply need to leave them a warning then.
What do you suggest?
Gray points towards the towers illuminated up there.
What was the question?
He points towards the tower that's illuminated on the watchtower.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he just points towards it.
Alabaster looks towards it. What do you mean?
We sneak in, if someone is there alone, quickly and quietly. We eliminate them, stake their body, leave it as a warning.
This how big is this watchtower? Is it a one-person job? Do we need to send in just one of us to sneak in and try, or?
I think it'll take all of us. We should try and very quickly eliminate whoever it is. And so we should all move up together. I can attempt to scout it, however, first.
What if we went into one of the tents instead? That gives us a better escape path, no?
He considers. But it also means that if we're closer to, if any of them awaken and come out of their tents, then there's something there. Then they will all be on us shortly.
Yes, and with the nature of a typical watchtower, I think it's less likely for there to be more numbers if we need to make a quick escape.
All right.
There's still like a relatively large area up here, right? Like the wooden structure. This is like a 35-foot area, and there's the wooden structure, and you said there's trees up there too, right?
There are trees up here, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we should all move together.
Right.
Okay. Party heads back in that direction, right up to where that ladder leaned against the wall is. Who would like to lead the party up?
I think Gray will offer, because Gray can do so stealthily and get a peek at it.
I think Gray should do it.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Ray of Morning Mist. You're up first. And who is right behind? Or are you all just going to let Gray go up and then follow? Or is this like we're all coming together in one big order? Is this Gray up and then wait for the signal and then everyone else up?
I think Gray should go up first, because then, let's say that immediately someone sees me and they like do a thing. If we're all climbing a ladder together, we're just like screwed, right? So
Perfect.
I think I'll go up first, alone.
Perfect. Gray will scamper up top and see there is no watchtower. There are no creatures. There is only a very large structure that has been damaged, tipped over, not like fully tipped over, but like lifted so that the bottom side of it is clearly off the ground. It is ringed with flags and lanterns that glow with a cold, heartless light. This structure that you see before you is of remarkable construction. It's made of those materials pulled from the earth that are as hard as stone but don't shatter, don't break. They just hold their form no matter what. The same sorts of materials the Songless use for weapons and armor. And you see not a soul up here. You can quickly call for the others to join you.
Do either of you know what this is? Oh, this isn't familiar to any of us, is it?
Have any of you visited the anchor points before? I think you have a pretty clear idea that this is one of the anchor points. And you know this
Okay.
one is defunct. This has got to be it. This has got to be what it looks like. And it's, it's a tower-like structure, wide at the bottom, thinner in the middle. At the top is some sort of like rounded spherical thing with little spikes coming off of it. But instead of just resting atop a hill like you might think it should, it is like ratcheted up or jacked up on one side, so it sits at like a 30-degree angle or so. I just don't have a token that puts it at a 30-degree angle.
Is this structure, is it a traditional building in that there's an entryway? It's something we can go inside, or is it just kind of like a pylon?
It's more like a
kinda deal?
pylon. Yeah.
Okay.
You said these lanterns give off a cold light.
Yeah.
Do I feel anything if I get slightly closer to one? Like,
They're up on these poles, so they're like 15 feet off the ground. But as you walk, near to it or under it, it's just light, no heat.
gotcha. Well, I suppose we found the anchor point. They probably use this as a beacon. They do not understand what it is. At least it means that there are none of them up here. I think, he says. Are these fires still going?
They are still going. You, with your understanding of fires, know that they will dwindle as the night goes on unless someone refills them.
Well, there's no one up here. We can try and get to one of the guards, or we can put the stakes here. We can try and sneak into their camp and learn something. We can attempt to set... We actually, that's a good question. Do we actually use fire? We don't, right?
For cooking, totally.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could set fire to their camp.
But we still we still need something to bring with us, right? Something we can bring back.
Maybe that fire will consecrate this land. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to burn it all down to the ground.
Gray will say, we can get closer and perhaps... Iso looks down at the sword he already has from the Songless. I already have this to prove that they're here. They all use similar ones. What I think we should do is we set the stakes here near the anchor point. They probably visit it. And then we can set fire to their camp and flee and leave it at that. Or as best we can. We'll probably only be able to set... do we use tents of like canvas and whatnot? We
No.
should be like...
Not really. You don't have weaving. You don't have any sort of fibers. You would just use animal hides.
Well, what is it you wish to do? We're here. We're in the thick of things. We have to...
I still think, even though you have the sword, I worry it might not be enough, because if someone were to see it, that could be any songless sword, and that we know that our society knows they're on the surrounding lands. I think we get closer and see if there's something more we can find near the tents before we burn this place to the ground.
I do not think we'll be burning this place to the ground. I think they will likely contain it, but before we can cause as much damage. But it'll be sending a message more than anything. Or we could deal with this points up towards the guards. We could attempt to deal with them.
I think the best thing we could possibly bring back is one of their heads. Don't you agree?
Agreed.
Gray sort of like looks at him surprised because Alabaster has gone through this sort of like transition. Just he's like, let's bring back their head. Peace. Let's bring back their fucking heads. And Gray just like looks at him like, okay.
Listen,
Day one
that's what happens when
Alabaster
you.
versus current Alabaster.
That's what happens when you confuse a very strong, idealistic man. He just swings extremely strongly into the other direction.
Well, we don't want to be in the middle of their camp when we attack them. We should circle around. Or we can sneak in and see if we can find anything else. That's the decision we want to do. Have we come here to take a head, or have we come here to explore the camp? Now we make that decision.
Take their fucking head.
Sorry, what was that?
I said take their fucking head.
Okay.
Okay, party. Whose head are you going to take? Where are you going? How are you going to do it? The camp's right there. They're all asleep except for 2 sentries. They don't know you're here. You've got them by surprise. What more
This
cards could you
outer-
have?
This outer kind of tent there, do they have vision to that? Like if we were to try to find a sleeping songless in that tent, would those sentries be able to see us there?
I mean, if you can see the tent, they could probably see it, right? If it's illuminated enough by the firelight.
So trying to sneak into a tent seems maybe a little risky. Maybe we do go after the sentries themselves.
Suggestion to sneak into a tent and kill one as they sleep. Is that what I heard?
I
Yeah.
think that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, he nods. That is that in fact is the that's what they traditionally did, right? Is like they would just sneak in. The snakes especially could do that well.
Yeah,
That's what I was
when
thinking.
what was his name? Leolis was doing these things. He was sending in his snakes to just bite and poison people or constrict their children in their sleep. He was just getting near to buildings and sending in venomous creatures to finish them off, which is why he went through so many companions, because that is not always a great plan. Is that what you want to do? You want to send in Hethys to go?
I will send in Hethys.
I mean, Hethys can't
Infiltrate.
take a head, but Hethys can bite someone, poison someone.
Exactly. And Hethys can also determine if how many are in, I think, this farthest tent here. If it's one songless or if there are multiple inside.
Okay.
Yeah. I will send Hethys in.
So the party heads down from this tower. And Hethys is you can communicate with Hethys like they're a well-trained dog. But you're still probably going to need to get close enough to be able to identify the right tent to send Hethys into. So I think the party's going to have to get quite a bit closer than where you are, right? Unless you're just saying, go attack something over there. If you're trying to be specific about which tent, you'll have to be within unequivocal pointing range. So the party gets closer. And as you get closer, you are going to notice another songless. You see that? There you go. Right over here. This is one that was in the darkness, but once you're close enough that your infravision kicks in, you're now within 60 feet of it, I believe. Yeah, you can see there's another guard there.
That's even better for us. Gray will sort of, without speaking, point in that direction, look at everyone, see if they have the same idea.
Iskar nods in agreement.
Alabaster nods in bloodlust.
Is this area right here, this looks pretty open, this darkness area here?
For now, yeah. You can only see so far in the dim light.
Yeah, we're gonna try and, Gray will sort of point like this way to like move around, you know, as opposed to running straight at him.
Yeah, you can find this area, come down this little ledge, and the whole party together begins to sneak.
I want to keep Jeffrey about here. Hold on.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a little close, isn't it? Maybe like with this tree a little bit.
Okay.
He's just an elk. He's just walking around.
Just an elk in the camp. Not a big deal. All right. The party crosses the opening. It's a little closer. You can see this creature is up underneath the ledge. Now, if we're getting this close, I am going to need stealth checks from everyone except for the snake in the party. And you've got to beat this sentry's passive perception. So stealth checks. Roll them, buddies.
Always.
Really?
Well,
For you.
KTZ, you've got a stealth modifier of 6 because you are supposed to be extremely stealthy. But sometimes we roll 1s, and sometimes Alabaster rolls a 3, and sometimes Moxi rolls a 7 plus 2 is 9. All of those are failures. Every last one of them is a failure. Wow. Okay, so I think it's coming down into this camp. When we started to come down this hill, I think what we have is a moment where there's some loose rocks, and they kind of get dislodged and tumble as people are carefully coming down as well as you can. And the guard over here, steps a little bit forward, turns around, and looks in this direction, kind of gazing into the darkness. And the party finds themselves at the base of the hill, able to see each other. This sentry looks out. Dark. But a weird noise came from the camp, a sound of falling stone. And the sentry, on his discipline check, let's call it, rolls a natural 20. And
oh my God.
you will see, quickly hurries into the tent, or not into the tent, but into the camp area, and goes over towards one of the guards higher up over here. And they begin to converse. I'm just going to keep dictating their actions, assuming you're just standing still and doing nothing until you tell me otherwise.
No, we're definitely, as soon as it's clear that that guy's moving, we see him moving, Gray will say, well, time to fucking just retreat back where we came, just get the hell out. We comically failed our ability to sneak up on them, and it's time to just run.
Yep.
And the party
We
runs back up the
skedaddle.
hill. And skedaddle down the mountain. We flee the whole scene.
Well, once we get back here, it'll be up to them to decide. So we'll see. He'll look at them and say, "What do you think we should do? Do you think we should let them?" Was it clear that he saw us, or just that like they heard us? Like how loud was this commotion?
It wasn't that bad, but the person looked in your direction and then hurried away. And by the time you're up there and you're looking back, the sentry in question has gone into camp and is grabbing a torch. And is heading over with another sentry. The two of them together. The guy with the red dot has the torch. And they begin to head over here.
Okay. So as they grab the torch and they start moving to us, Gray is gonna because as they sort of like grab the torch and they start moving, we have a moment to like definitely discuss. And Gray will simply tell them like, decide right now, no hesitation, try and ambush them or flee. Koibu.
You are not. Your people are doing nothing. They're just sitting there in silence as the monsters are moving.
Gray will say, ambush them or flee. Choose right now.
We ambush them. I want their head.
Okay. All right. Gray will duck behind a tree and draw his bow. And watch them.
Yep. I'm also ducked behind a tree watching. And Dom here is a little bit further back here.
I want Hethus to attempt to kind of flank them, so start kind of moving this general direction behind them,
So
so
what
they're
sort of
sandwiched between us.
orders are you giving Hethus in this situation? Like, you can tell the snake to kind of go somewhere, but do you have like a prearranged go after the person I'm fighting in combat sort of signal? What's the...
Yeah, I'm wanting Hethus too, so let's see. Since there's two of them, so who are you guys thinking of targeting?
So,
Well, give your commands to Hethus, unless you're going to sit down and have a nice long conversation with your allies in the middle of this moment, which it sounds like you're doing.
Yeah, I think I'll have Hethus go around and try to attack from behind the one that's farther from us. So the second.
Okay.
Yeah.
You send Hethus down, and these creatures come up.
So, as they're moving here, Gray is going to do something independently as like Heather's moving there. Gray is going to grab sort of like a pebble or something around, or maybe even the sword he has, and he's going to toss it like as they're moving there. He wants to toss it like right here, like just toss it into the bushes or against the wall because it'll clatter and make a metallic sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you chuck something in that direction, and I think at this point,
And he's gonna. Okay.
yeah, at this point we should roll initiative. Because the guard with the torch sees whoever this is, Iskar Green, and gives out a shout.
Wait, is initiative high is good in this, right?
High is good.
Fuck.
My rolls have been pretty strong today.
Oh, yeah, everyone's doing great today. Yeah. First guard gives out his cry. Roar! Runs forward towards the nearby Toman. Takes his sword. Slashes in your general direction. It's a hit! For 7 points of damage, cutting deeply into Iskar Green, almost taking you down with one blow, but not actually. Iskar, you'll take 7. Excellent. Our next guard is going to go over here, actually, and begin to scramble up the cliff, leaving us with Iskar Green, who's at 1 hit point.
Okay.
Already.
I think it might be time to bust out some of those shiny new key points I've got, right? So let me see.
Well, one of them is offensive. When you make an attack, you can use a bonus action to expend a key point and make 2 additional unarmed attacks.
That's the flurry of blows, right?
That's it.
Yeah. It's either stay in flurry of blows or disengage. I think those are my 2.
Yep.
Wait, would I be able to disengage and bring Hethys in closer to try to attack this sentry?
Oh, where do you have eyes on Hethys? Yeah, over here. You can control Hethys. You can disengage. You can move Hethys. Yes. One of you has to go before the other, but another will, it doesn't matter which order.
Yeah, I'll disengage and bring Hethys in closer then, as close as possible.
Great. You can disengage up to 30 feet. Go for it. 35 feet? I think you got 35 feet of movement now. Yeah.
And how do I go about doing that?
Just drag your token, and you can
I can
right-click and measure the distance. Yeah.
Let's see. I think I'll move back here with kind of closer to Jeffrey. That seems nice and safe.
Great. And your snake can move. Well, he already went downhill. Now he's got to go uphill. What's your snake's movement speed? 35 feet. All right. Perfect. Next up is White of Alabaster. You are now staring directly at one of these big, scary, stinky, hairy songless wielding a sword made of, bendable rock.
And White of Alabaster will channel his hatred and his confusion and his anger at the world in general at this thing, and he will cast Guiding Bolt.
Ooh. You roll a 9 to hit. It is a miss. A flash of light streaks towards a creature of choice within range. Make it an attack roll. On a hit, it takes a bunch of damage. However, you miss with a 9 to hit, and it sails well past the creature, giving a brief illumination.
I also don't get the bonus effect that I was going for. That's fine.
Yeah.
Do I have movement?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to kite this thing a little bit.
You've got, I do believe, 35 feet of movement because you are bonded to the elk.
I will kite back 35 feet, like
All right.
so.
Perfect.
And the elk is, I believe, 20 feet away from this creature.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we will be going for the ram action with the charge bonus because he's 20 feet away. That means the target takes an extra.
If you
let's actually see if the ram hits.
Yeah. 12 against AC 13. God, the elk will
AC 13
smash into the creatures, but not give it damage. Grave Morning Mist.
Or
Unless
Lance.
I'm in the dark relative to this creature, right? I think I'm out of its torchlight.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. I should have advantage on the attack then?
Yeah.
Just trying to get my health bar is. I'm trying to make. I'm taking this like slight step here because I just want to like
Yep.
straight shot, right?
Perfect. Easy
So-
peasy.
From the dark, we are going to draw our short bow and we will shoot. Am I attacking at advantage or nay?
You are attacking at advantage. You are in darkness. 11 is not good enough to hit. Wow, the dice rolls today are terrible for those with Psalm.
damage with. Okay.
Dude, if that guiding bolt and that ram hits, I think this guy is like actually like completely fucked. But whatever.
This is.
Well, if the guiding bolt hits, then the ram is also gonna hit because I get to roll at advantage. But you know.
Yep.
I will cunning action hide, I think. Because I shot, so he knows that a arrow is coming from here. He can't see me, but I'm gonna cunning action hide and maneuver elsewhere with my movement.
Okay, excellent. These shouts that went off last round are going to trigger some checks from the other people in the camp to see if they wake up and what they do. Not everyone wakes up to the first shout. Let's go with this character. Oh yeah, this guy wakes up. Abso-fucking-lutely. Hello. Thank you. And this guy, he's gonna wake. They're not gonna act this round. This is their waking round. No, 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 no. Okay. We are going to roll this person into initiative for this round. And roll this one. All right. Top of the order. That one sentry who stayed behind, hearing the shouts, knows that he must come to aid. So he'll move and dash. The next one is right here. This guy has just been rammed by an elk. The elk didn't get through him. He's got like a small shield strapped to his arm that he blocked the elk's advance with, and he'll just retaliate against the deranged, mad creature of the woods by hacking into it with his sword. With the 7 is a wild miss. The next creature,
Jeffrey glides agilely beneath the cut. How would you say? What was the adverb of agile?
Gracefully works.
Gracefully.
Yeah,
Right.
gracefully.
Nimbly,
Nimbly
deftly.
is good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Iskar Green, your turn.
It doesn't matter the order with me and Hethus, right? I can
As long
have-
as
yeah.
one goes first, it's fine. Whatever
Yep.
order.
All right, I want to have Hethus go first.
Easily. Hethus can sneak up, slither up, unseen to this person. Little snake is going pretty easily missed in the nighttime.
Exactly what I want.
Go ahead and make me an attack at advantage, please. Natural 20. Critical hit.
That's what we needed.
That's right. Unfortunately, your snake bite does, 1 point of damage? So you do 2, which is great. And then the creature must make a saving throw versus
Oh, he doesn't have that much HP. Dude,
a
Jeffrey would have
Constitution
one-shot
saving
this
throw.
guy.
Yeah. Our warrior will make his Constitution saving throw, which is a 16, which is a pass, I believe. They will take half as much on a success. So roll me 2d4. We'll divide it by 2, and he'll take that much damage. 7 divided by 2 is enough to bring this creature down. The snake bites him in the
yeah.
leg. He
That
writhes in
is-
pain. He
Holy
falls to the
shit.
ground, his leg beginning to decay immediately, and lies dead.
Damn, that's so metal.
Iskar Green, you still have a turn.
This guy just instantly get his head. Get his head.
Yeah, I mean, that 1 HP no longer is an issue, so I can move in and
Well, there's another human.
oh, there is another. Right.
Sorry, another creature Another Songos, another beast.
That's right, there is. Yeah, because they moved up towards the tower structure, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what you saw them do, but they've been out of sight for a little while. They could be anywhere. What are you going to do, Iskar?
Thinking if I want to go in and just take the head and we try to forget the other one and leave, but I also wonder if I try to get closer and see what
removing
they're
a
doing.
head from shoulders is
It'll
a
take some
lengthy
time.
process. That's
Yeah,
not a
it's
one-round
not a
action
quick-
with the stone dagger. You're going to be spending many, many minutes removing a head from a shoulders.
I think I should try to get in and get visibility on the tower to see what the other songless went up there for, what they're doing while this was all happening, because they seem to be moving with purpose. They seem to have a plan.
Do I feel like Jeffrey could carry this body?
Yeah, definitely.
We should get his body on Jeffrey and get out of here.
But I still need Iskar to... I think Iskar is spending their turn waiting and doing nothing, right? I haven't heard
Yeah,
any...
I think Iskar waits to see what the rest of the team wants to do.
Alabaster.
Yeah.
Okay. Alabaster will move over. Help me, guys. And I mean, like, I'm sure with the way that I communicate with Jeffrey, we
Sure.
kind of there's a way to get this body on top of him pretty efficiently.
Yeah, I think it's probably less on top of him and more that Jeffrey's just going to grab and drag with the teeth because he's a big fucking
Right.
elk. He could just
Right,
drag
right.
something with his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, that's what I kind of instruct Jeffrey to do, and then I think I signal for retreat.
All right. They pull back. Grave Morning Mist. I haven't had you make that stealth check since no one was about to approach you, but you are stealthed. You are hidden.
Yep, I made it earlier. He is going to, as they're doing this, so Gray is going to back up, sort of like moving in the direction of the hawk, and just watch. So I'll move this way. I have that sweet 20 feet of movement. They actually target my character. But I can cunning action dash. So I will cunning action dash. The direction we came was it this way or is it straight south of us?
It was this way.
Straight south. Okay, so we'll do another 20 straight cunning action dash, and oops, I think I went over a wall somewhere there.
Oh, there you go.
I think I have to do like one more because I have to like go around. Yeah. And I'm just gonna keep my bow raised, and I'm just gonna do a perception check. I'm trying to listen for sounds of activity further in the camp, just hear if more of them are coming awake, etc. Where they're coming from, etc. So I'm just doing that. I'm posting up and I'm just looking around, bow raised, to try and get what information I can if they're coming, if he's doing anything up there, etc.
Right.
Would you like a perception check or just?
Not quite yet. I'm
Right.
trying to get this stupid little torch icon because the guy who had the torch is dead. Now he's dropped the torch. And the torch is lying here. Perfect. Okay. You moved, you bonus action dashed, and you are looking around.
Yep.
Perfect.
Moving ahead of the party, and that's my turn.
Okay. All looking good. Last guy to go.
Oh, I suppose I can, if I'm looking around, I know that the guys are going up there. I'm just gonna, instead of like, I'll just look around. That's what I said. I didn't know. Carry on.
Okay. Time to roll in for these other people. Excellent. Where are we hiding? Right. This fellow is hurrying over here. This one is getting over here. This is a dead guard. All right. And from up top this hill, there is going to be a spear throw at good old Elk. Everyone's favorite Elk. Whoops. Target on a hit. I think it does 1d6 plus 1. Perfect. This is at advantage, though, because he is attacking from a concealed position. He throws it at the Elk. It's a 14. Your Elk will take 6 points of damage as a spear skewers him from above, leaving us with Iskar Green and Hethys.
So how much health is remaining then?
Help?
Health for the
health.
Yeah.
For whom?
For the songless.
Well, this one's dead.
The one, I guess the one up on the by the tower is completely, we haven't even attacked them. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do, Iskar?
Well, first I want to bring Hethys back in because Hethys is kind of there alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bring Hethys to the party.
Excellent. They've got 35 feet of movement, and if they dash, they can do 70 feet of movement.
Yeah, I don't think we need to dash. Yeah, we
Okay.
can just bring them right in.
Whoop. All right. They move closer. What about you? What about your token, your character?
Let's see, what are our options here? Just surveying the area, seeing what we can do here.
What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I think I'll head in this direction as well. So head kind of south. Move this way. I won't do any moves yet. I'll just move. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Our next character comes out. Comes over here. White of Alabaster, it is your turn.
Okay. Yeah, we're just on full retreat, huh?
That's what you're saying.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Me and Jeffrey will move as far as we can, as quickly as we can, away from the danger.
Excellent. Grave Morning Mist, you're also in full retreat.
Where did that spear throw come from?
The what?
The spear throw that hit the elk.
It came from up the hill.
So I can't see him.
Obviously,
I can't because of the dynamic lighting. But if he's able to see the elk, I should be able to see him, right?
Yeah, I think you can probably see him. He's got a little bit of cover from one of the branches up there, but yeah, I think it's only like a +1 to his AC. I would say you are unseen and have advantage against him.
Sure, I'm gonna shoot him.
All right.
Because we're gonna stop the thing. So -1 advantage.
Yeah, just roll at advantage. He has 14 AC for the purposes of this attack. Boom! Lucky
Oh wait,
hit.
I attacked with the short sword. It's the same modifier.
Same modifier. It's all fine. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this because this will let me click the damage.
Yeah. It should be the same damage either way, but that is 11 points, which will kill the creature, and you will see them tumble or slide down the cliff. Okay.
And I will move with our allies. But I still see you here. I will cunning action dash. It's so funny that I'm cunning action dashing and like moving as much as Iskar can regularly. That's my turn.
All right. It seems like the party's in full retreat. The enemy is gathering together because they're hearing the sounds of fighting and the sounds of dying occurring. And since you are in full retreat, you will beat them down the mountainside. However, you are dragging a body behind you, and that's going to leave a little bit of a trail. Maybe when you're in a safe enough spot, you can get it somehow onto the elk's back so it doesn't leave such a trail. But for the moment...
Well, when we're in a safe enough spot, we're going to cut off the head.
All right.
Right, y'all?
Yeah, we only need the head.
While they're
Down.
cutting the head, I'm going to grab some branches, and we're going to do that stake thing, sort of like on the body, to like leave the body there as that warning.
Okay. So you get down the hill quickly. You get a few feet away, maybe 100 feet away from the base of the hill. Seems like a good a spot as any to start hacking off the head. It's going to take a while to do it. It's really no more than a 2-person job. A third person would just get in the way, honestly. So what are we doing here? How are we orchestrating this?
Gray's going to give them his short shot, and Gray's going to keep watch because he can obviously fire to distance. But if you guys deciding to cut off the head here, it sort of like tilts him because it would be better just put the body on the elk and run. But he'll keep watch as they start to behead.
You and Mithra keeping watch. Mithra will let out a caw as the songless are coming down the hill. I need you to make me an intelligence check, KTZ. Maybe not intelligence. What is the right sub skill?
If we're still in full chase, I don't think we would. When I said when we're in a safe spot, we would cut off the head. What I meant was when we feel like we've lost them, not when we're like immediately when we're out of sight.
So the issue with that, and what Koibu was saying, is that us dragging this body makes it very clear the direction we're going to. It's going to be hard for us to actually lose them until we do something about the body, either put it on the elk or move. That was my interpretation.
Okay.
Grave Morning Mist, give me an investigation check.
It's a 3.
Okay. You're having a hard time judging the songless's approach. Are they going to be here right away? Are they coming nice and slowly? The bird is letting you know that they're on the mountainside coming down. But, if they're going slowly, it could take them 5 minutes to get here. Or if they're tromping ahead, it could be a lot faster. You don't see any lights on the mountainside or the hillside. They don't appear to be moving under torchlight.
Gray will say, "Can you put the body on the elk and have it carry it and move briskly? Because you can't, like, a body, if you put it on it's going to fall off instantly. I'm trying to think of a way we can circulate it, because we don't have weaving. Do we have rope? We surely have rope, right? No? No.
I do believe you do have some ropes.
We do have ropes.
Not quite weaving. Yeah, that's a fairly primitive technology.
Ropes wouldn't help that much. We don't have a saddle. There's
no one brought rope, which is the bigger issue.
The Gray will say, how many of us can ride on the elk's back usually? All of us can?
All
right?
3 of you. You're small creatures. Smallish creatures. It's a large elk.
Say, can you two go on the elk and try and hold the body up? Keep it from falling as we move?
I don't see why not.
All right.
That could work, right? Yeah.
2 of you mount the elk, where you pull, the elk gets down on its knees. You help try and lift and hoist the body over. The strength of the party, Iskar, you've got 11 strength. Gray's got 9. You guys aren't completely weak. And White has 14 strength. Yeah, no, you can easily get the body on the elk. No problem whatsoever. And then stabilize it and ride away. And let me give them some tracking checks here. Okay. You can get half an hour away. The hawk doesn't call out. You feel you're far enough to properly remove its head, and you do so. It takes a few minutes. Carving through the sinews and then the bone and trying to wrench everything apart is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's completely doable. And soon you have a corpse and a head And you're fine.
Nice.
Now what? Now
Now
you've
we
got
go
a
home
head.
and present. Now we go home and present them the head and hope that that convinces someone to join our cause.
That so Gray will, as if they've probably like as they're at some point, if we get away, we stop for a short rest. Gray sort of like looks at it and says, and starts to think. This was like a high octane situation for them. They like messed up, and he's just gonna like look at them and say, "What did we actually learn or accomplish?"
And Alabaster is kind of. He's young, he's impulsive, right? He's kind of now only realizing what just happened and what he just did. I mean, we got their head, right?
Yes, but did we drive them off?
We sent them a warning. We sent them a signal that they're not welcome here.
Yeah, I think Iskar is kind of on the fence here. Like, typically Iskar is impulsive. Iskar would have been like all about this, but you know, the question of did we learn anything, I think digs a little deep. And Iskar's kind of wondering, wow, what did we accomplish here? You know, we did send a warning, but wasn't our mission to bring something back to our people, to rally them for our cause? Did we actually do what we set out to do? Have we made progress?
Gray thinks for a while. He sort of sits back, reflecting on what they've done, looking at the two he considers friends now. I think it'll be hard to call this a victory unless we convince them to retreat from that area. How dangerous they will likely be on guard now. They know we're here, but so we shouldn't return immediately. But we need to see how they respond to. We need to know how they respond to this. Do they bring more song lists or do they leave? I don't think we should return home immediately. Perhaps a day or two, and then try and scout out the area again. But they could potentially be more on their guard. Again, he's sort of like getting this indecision, and it's like the party is just full of people who have no idea what they're doing. We don't even know what our purpose is. We want to drive them off. We want to have our people help us or inspire them to, but how do we do that?
We got a song list head that's gonna inspire someone. It's possible. They do bleed. We can kill them. If the three of us can achieve this.
That's a fair point. If we can find other people willing to go towards other areas, so Gray will consider. He says, this location is pretty deep away from like normal songless lands, like traditionally as we know them, right, Koibu? Like this is pretty.
Yeah, you don't actually spend a lot of time in the songless territories, but this is within what you would consider your section. Anything that's like jungly is generally you would consider your own. At the same time, you also just kind of consider the area that is within the what do we call it? The barrier as also your own. So like you've got two separate sections of territory, if that makes sense. And it's within one of them, but without the other.
We need to know how they respond to this, how decisive of a blow is, and then we can know if they do not show any signs of leaving, if they do not show any signs of departing, we can go and try and get others to come join us and eliminate this entire camp. Or we can try and do so on our own.
We can show them what it was possible for us to do as three of us. Maybe it'll inspire them to help us out here. So Gray says, is there any reason for us not to continue doing guerrilla tactics such as, he wouldn't use the word guerrilla tactics, you know what I mean? Well,
Is
he
there
would say
any reason
guerrilla
for us not
tactics,
to-
like the monkey. You know, I think that's a common idiom in
Yeah. It's a
Toman culture.
channel our inner Dormanitan.
Yeah. Ape gang strats.
Is there any reason we cannot simply continue doing this until we pick them off or they leave?
I guess
We have
not.
this is he's sort of like this. This is our element. We are able to flee into
Right.
the darkness. They are not able
Right.
to adequately save us. We don't need to wipe them out in a single blow. They are stronger than us. They are bigger. They are more powerful. But we have the advantage of our connection to nature, the world, our ability to see in the dark. There may be only 3 of us and a lot more of them. They may be individually stronger, but if we never allow them to approach us, if we simply... So Gray thinks for a moment. He says, imagine if we had approached that just now with the intention to just kill and retreat, take them out one at a time, how much more effective it would have been. Perhaps that's
You're
what we
right.
should be doing all along.
Especially with Iskar and his snake, and Dom here as a way to, Jeffrey as a way to free, as a way to flee and get out. I think
One
we
could
have,
say we
have
are almost slowly trimming them as opposed to simply severing them at the root.
right.
As
I
this
agree.
conversation is going on, Iskar is a little quiet, because Iskar was on death's door after this encounter, so a little shook. And we're kind of we've seen this dynamic for Alabaster, right, where he was kind of more reserved and was now in this encounter, almost bloodlusted, right? And Iskar was typically kind of the reckless, one who was willing to just kind of rush in, and now we're almost seeing like a kind of swap there in mentality, I think. So there's kind of just some quiet reflection on what just happened. We were victorious, but Iskar was so close to dying.
I think we shouldn't retreat yet. We should continue trimming this camp until they leave. Or we've eliminated all of them.
We'll drive them out. We'll make our land ours again.
So the party, are you headed back home, or are you going to stay here and go back the next night and crawl up? I wasn't sure what action this conversation resulted in.
We're in character deciding what action we're taking,
Okay.
essentially. And this is and
Yeah.
Gray at the sort of like end of that will say, I think perhaps that we should wait, not return to the next night, but the night after that.
Yeah.
They will probably be more fortified, and we'll see.
We take one night to heal and rest off our wounds. Close enough. We don't go all the way back home.
Perfect. Iskar Green, you can spend up to 2 hit dice after tonight to regain HP if you'd like. You have 2 of them. I think on your character sheet there's just a button called hit dice. Yeah. That you can click to roll. Although don't take the one that I rolled, because that was a bad roll. It's like the
Where on the
third
sheet
column
is it?
below your HP, next to your death saves that have the 6 circles.
Oh, I see it. 2 of those?
Yeah, there's a little...
All right.
If you mouse over the text, it'll turn red and you can click it. 6 will bring you to 7 out of 8, which is pretty good. Do you want to keep going? Get all the way up to 8 out of 8?
Let's get 8 out of 8. I'm going to need everything I can get.
Perfect.
That 1 HP might matter. It did back there.
Yeah.
I got healing spells, but we should save the spell slots.
You expend both your hit dice. That's all right. They come back 1 every night of rest. So you'll be good. The next night we're going back. Is that it? Let's just see if we have any encounters during the day that you wait. You see some gorillas throughout the day, but they don't bother you unless you bother them. And they're not in your path because you're just waiting and killing time. So you can peaceably negotiate the gorillas. And we can go to the next day.
If we're staying around here, what are we doing with this decaying head? If we're not going to bring it back.
Good question.
Actually, we might be able to leave it in their camp as like a sign.
We can put stakes through it. They're very super. We were told that they're very superstitious, cowardly creatures.
Yeah, like put
We
it
can
on a stake and display it, kind of deal.
Well, even more than that, put like alabaster. Sorry, Gray. Trying to think of like what is like a really fucked up ritualistic thing we could do to the hair. Me trying to think if I was a human in the but also I'm in like this weird mess where I'm like, if I was a human and like there was these creepy fae things, what would be like this weird sort of like thing? Do they put feathers in it randomly? Like that just makes no sense, you know? But I'm also like, he would have to think of that as well. So it's like there's no like, we can just stake it.
Okay. So stake it and then drag it back the next day, or stake it in place that night?
I think we'll just keep the head with us, and depending on how the next night goes, we can leave the head somewhere.
Great.
I wonder if we when we do go back with the head, if we try to stake it right by that tower pylon-esque structure, since that was like a point of significance.
Do keep in mind that they should expect us, and they will likely be more well defended or prepared for us.
Sentries.
No.
Well, when you return the next night, you will find the camp is packed up. Not all of it. They left behind a bunch of stuff. All the heavy stuff was left behind, but the tents gone, the people gone, the actual large monument that was the anchor point that was like jacked up and lifted and kind of tilted at an angle has been fully removed, and there are wagon ruts leading down the man-made trail that leaves the mountainside. The camp is empty. The anchor gone. There's plenty of little relics that you could find if you want to start digging through their boxes and prying through their stuff. I'm sure you could retrieve all sorts of fashionable loot from this place. All sorts of wealth, well, songless wealth left behind. Nothing that you would like. But they're gone. They must have gotten your message and packed up during the day.
We still approach cautiously, says Gray. We're going to sweep around, look, but we're going to sweep around, be very careful. There could be traps still. There could be a few of them remaining with traps, expecting us to return here. But let us make if they are truly gone, we can start collecting whatever we find informative about them and return it. We do have what we need to prove that we have won a victory over them.
Okay. You can take your time. You can scout the area. You feel confident that they are gone. You see no signs of traps. You see what appears to be a very hasty retreat, like some of the larger tents even that require structural supports are left in place. I don't know what you might think is of value or useful from this place.
It's less about value and more about learning about them, right? So if something is new and interesting, we try and sort of like basically things that are foreign to us, we definitely want to bring back. Obviously, there's like a limit. If they have like satchels and whatnot, we do have an elk who should make like, even if they have like spare satchels and bags around, that should make sort of things easier. I assume it's not hard for us to figure out how to move those, but we're probably more curiosities. Like, for example, like if we found like coins, right, Koibu, we would just gloss over that.
Right.
But something like a needle, like needle and thread, you know, things like that would be fascinating to us. So that's a general vibe, right? Is like curiosities.
Yeah. Anything that's shiny, colorful. I think anything that's colorful. I think colors are really important in our culture, right?
Things that look like tools, I think, are the most that things that he doesn't understand or things that look like tools probably are the most relevant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think why don't we end here for the day? When we come back next session, yeah, this is the right time. We will see what is in this camp and make our actions from there. Everybody, please take home 166 experience for today's actions. We visited the anchor. There was some good RP. You killed 2 warriors. You cut off 1 head, and you forced a retreat of the camp. All that
That's right.
totals 500 divided by 3 is 166, which brings our party to
599.
Just round to 600 because I'm dividing by 3, and so I keep cutting off decimal places. So that should put you exactly at 600. All right, party. We'll be back next week with a little more Dicelocke.
See you then.